Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel, where everything you're about to see and hear has been done in one take. I'm your host, the One Take Man. Around 20 years ago, uh, a movie depicting the fall or the final days of the Nazi Reich, Nazi regime, told from the perspective of Adolf Hitler and his war leadership, co-produced by the German, Austrian, and Italian state broadcasters, was first was first released. I'm not exactly sure what kind of commercial success it had, and I haven't really checked it out. Partly because it didn't directly interest me, partly because given it was made by state broadcasters, it was most likely made for TV anyway. So it's so it's not like box office figures would really mean anything. Um, but still, if you're interested in that, IMDb is your friend. And that movie was called Downfall. Um, it regardless of what kind of commercial success it would have had, I think it's fair to say that it stayed somewhat in obscurity up until around up until around 5 years later, when uh, when one scene from the movie, and you know exactly which scene, ended up becoming a very popular internet meme. And yes, I am differentiating between internet meme and regular meme because, and other forms of memes, because it is really only over the internet that it actually that this sorry that this that this meme actually found the technical means for which to spread. The meme had something of a resurgence around 10 years later or 5 years ago, and I suspect it will make a comeback again, given that myself and various other uh, movie guys or historians are bound to talk about it as the movie reaches its 20th anniversary. Um, Regardless, when I decided to watch it recently, um, I had a question that went a little bit beyond the a little bit beyond the scene itself, and I was more interested in how it works within the context of the movie as a whole. Or rather, I wanted to see what the movie as a whole was actually like. Is this movie just a is this movie just a one scene wonder, or is there actually more to it than the internet might have alluded to? Well, the TLEW for this review is this movie is not a one hit wonder, a one scene wonder. There is a lot of care and attention being given to towards presenting the topics which it chooses to portray. The subject is in equal amounts controversial as well as heartfelt, and the production is able to portray that by showcasing proper respect both to historical accuracy and to the people who are actually who it actually talks about. How does it manage to thread that needle? Well, that's what the rest of this video is going to cover. The movie is primarily told from the perspective of Hitler's personal assistant and or stenographer. However, various other perspectives also show up over the course of this movie, are also employed by the movie in order to convey its message. And there are primarily and these different perspectives are primarily divided between two clusters. The first of these clusters is the civilian population, or the remaining civilian population, which has to confront the horrors of war, and the other is the actual war leadership, i.e., generals and their staff, as they try to shield themselves from the war and try to salvage whatever it is that they still can from the situation as it unfolds. Occasionally, these two perspective clusters interact. Either when the either when staff members of the war leadership exit the bunker and have to exit the bunker, or when the generals themselves have to interact with the civilian population, either to exercise crowd control or to or to perform evacuation drills. Um, occasionally there are other intersection avenues as well, such as such as when a Soviet artillery shell lands a little bit too close to one of the military's ballroom venues, or when the pressure that various generals find themselves under makes them decide to defect. There is a very interesting juxtaposition that the movie creates within its named characters, and it does so by by showcasing that they are still they're showcasing their attempt to maintain the appearance of competence and control over the situation, uh, even though everything about their observations and expertise proved that to be a fool's endeavor, and that they are really only doing this for themselves uh, in order to showcase their former glory, in order to hold on to their former glory. Um, if you'll remember the movie Titanic, when it becomes perfectly obvious that the titular ship is about to go down, there are a whole bunch of people who are stuck trying to fix something small, something that in order to gain some sense of control over what is left of their lives. And well, this movie is basically constructed around evoking that feeling, but spread and continuously doing so for 2.5 hours. It is not an easy viewing, so suffice it to say, but it is a very deliberate viewing, as in the movie has a distinct idea of how it chooses to uh, represent itself, as well as represent its themes. And the two main tricks it uses to immerse its viewers into it and have them engage with the content are through its use of perspective, as I've hinted to previously, and showcasing how it is that the various events that unfold build upon each other, and secondly by carefully looking through the levels of influence that are exercised over the course of this story, both by and upon a variety of different characters, and how they in turn react to their imminent downfall. Yeah, I had to say it. Sorry, I had to say it. And the actors, for the most part, do a pretty good job at displaying that conflict and that dread that that the characters would be facing in situations in this kind of situation, even if Bruno Gantz's Hitler very much steals the show. There are some parts of the movie where I think the direction is a little bit too slow, and there are some scenes that drag, but those parts are thankfully very few and far between. And in fact, if I were to think about a somewhat more serious detriment to the way the movie itself is presented, that would probably be certain aspects of the production. Now, don't get me wrong. The For the most part, I think the production design actually worked quite well and is very effective. Like the costumes look fine. The various sets all look all look as effectively as they should, and even the set dressing uh, is done in an appropriate and easy to comprehend way. That being said, the movie is most easily capable of showcasing the horrors of war when these horrors are more subtle. Not only does it help thematically with what it is that it's trying to say, but also uh, but also um, but also, deliberate overt destruction is not something this movie can really effectively showcase. Overall, this war drama shows a very solid, very human story of uncertainty and despair, and manages to present it with a keen eye for the for the dignity of the people the people it portrays, and an attention for the events that it is trying to uh, uh, that it is trying to present towards its audience. My final rating for Downfall is a 5 out of 5. And that was my review. Thank you for your attention. If you enjoyed it, well then please like the video and maybe even share it wherever you think other people will also like the video. If there is anything you'd like to add, either to the movie or to my review of it, that's what the comment section is for. And if you want to see when my next video gets released, well then please subscribe. And ideally also ring the bell or do whatever else YouTube will ask of you in order to keep you notified. I also have a main channel where I talk about book and literature related topics, a link to which you can find in the description down below, right past my social media links, which I also suggest you check out should you choose to. Additionally, you have the option of supporting me on Patreon, where depending on the level at which you pledge, you'll receive various perks, which I will allow you to discover for yourselves and decide whether or not they interest you in any way. And yeah, I think that pretty much covers it. So until next time, I have been the One Take Man.